Hello, my name's Marty Maher from Great Ocean Properties and welcome to our May Great Ocean Report. Well, it's been an incredible 12 months for most real estate markets in Australia, but particularly what we've seen on the Great Ocean Road has really been an incredible ride. The question we get asked regularly at the moment is, will prices keep rising? So let's see if we can work that out. So when we're looking at any property markets, we can look over history and see that they do ebb and flow. And the things that affect those, two broad themes. One is the prevailing overall sentiment that's occurring at the time, generally in the economy. That takes into things like the interest rates, credit availability, demographic changes, and just people willing to transact in that period. And the other thing is the local factors that affect any particular market, and they change from area to area, and you really come back to supply and demand for that particular area. So in the last 12 months, we've seen the prevailing sentiment be one of a very positive nature where people have wanted to transact. It started as a reaction to COVID being locked down and people want to change their lives, and certainly the regional markets really benefited from this push to change those lives. What happened is Australians have a really strong fear of missing out, so all of a sudden the metropolitan markets also became quite active, and that's why we've seen these major price rises across all the capital cities as well as the regional markets. So it's been really interesting to watch and a really positive sentiment. We've actually seen this before, this fear of missing out by Australians. We saw it after the GFC when a lot of immigration laws were changed and a lot of foreign money came into Australia, and it wasn't long before the Australians all started jumping on board and the market took off again. So this is not new. So the big question is, will prices keep rising? Well, if we look back over the last 30 years, we can see there's been some really strong periods of accelerating capital gain, and then they dissipate for whatever reason there might be a trigger event or just people won't pay the prices. And typically what happens is that there's some exceptional results in a particular area, and then the surrounding property owners all look at those results and say, well, now my house is worth X and it's a lot more than what they thought and they can't resist it. So they go and put their properties on the market because the prices are so much buoyant. But a lot of the prices are generated by process. And what that means, it might be an auction result that's gone exceptionally well, and it started at a figure that was acceptable to the market, but the level of competition for it drove it over it. And that doesn't always equate to every property, but the perception of the owners is that it does. And so what happens is those properties go on the market and people won't pay them, and then all of a sudden the urgency starts to come out of the market as the stock builds up. And typically that's where the prices find a ceiling in any particular market, and that can definitely slow the market. One thing that needs to be mentioned is that, especially late in the buoyant cycle, is that you need to watch the stock levels in that particular area, and they can vary dramatically from area to area. This is particularly so from metropolitan areas where there's a lot of supply available and it can build up quickly. Typically what happens is that sometimes property owners aren't that quick to act, and it takes them a while to make a decision that, yes, because of the buoyant nature of the market, we're going to move. And then they decide to do it, and all of a sudden they've got all this competition in the market because a lot of people have made the same decision. So this can vary enormously from area to area, but it's quite a sign to look at if you're looking to buy or sell in that particular area. If you need any help, we're here to help you. So if you'd like any more information on any real estate matter, please feel free to contact us on the following numbers.